Guten Morgen, everyone. That is German for good morning and aloha. I want to thank you for stopping by here at the 8th episode of Hang 10 with Quinn Kalani. That's me, obviously. Some quick housekeeping. There may be, you may hear some background noise. There's a AC and a smoke detector that is constant, and I cannot adjust that. That is outside of my control. I am coming to you here at day 4 of our 14-day quarantine here at the Aqua Palms Hotel in beautiful Waikiki, Oahu, Hawaii. And though I have not lost my mind yet, there's the smoke detector. Though I have not lost my mind yet, I do feel the subtle slip of reality wisping away. It's been 4 days without direct human contact and 4 days without direct sunlight. So I do feel a slight physical impact, a slight physical change. Almost like a slight lethargic sense, I guess. Tightness in the shoulders. But what this episode is going to be our first foray into what we'll be doing for the next couple of weeks, which is going to be giving a 5-film recommendation list via genre. Now, fresh out the gate, I want to say that these are not what I consider to be the 5 definitive films of any given genre, but what they are basically my 5 films that I would recommend to a neophyte in cinema. If someone were to ask me my opinion, these are the 5 films that I would submit to you. So we're going to get right into it. Our first genre that we're going to do is the sci-fi genre, and what to me qualifies, or what is the most outstanding attribute that I'm looking for in a sci-fi film, and that is world building. A complete and separate universe from our own. Something metaphorical, something fantastical, something that can draw us in. So my top 5 films in the sci-fi. I have to listen to that smoke detector for the next 10 days. There's an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Mac and Dennis move to the suburbs, and there's a smoke detector that goes off all through the night, and it slowly drives Dennis to the brink of insanity if he was not already there. And we'll see how long I last with this goddamn thing. But our 5th film in the sci-fi genre that I would recommend to you is Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Samuel L. Jackson, Newman's from Seinfeld, and directed by Steven Spielberg. I think I said that. What I love about Jurassic Park is the sense of scale. It is a big fucking movie, and it immediately lets you know that. There's one of my favorite shots in all of cinema is in this movie when Dr. Grant, Dr. Sadler, Jeff Goldblum, Dr. Malcolm, and some of the other characters are first entering Jurassic Park. Start at a low bottom angle, looking upwards at the front gates of Jurassic Park, and it just swings open these towering doors, literally, taking the audience and forcing them into the threshold of this new world. Brilliant filmmaking. One thing I love about Jurassic Park is its use of practical effects, animatronics, and how it blended that with VFX to create dinosaurs that, quite frankly, hold up today better than all of the Jurassic Park sequels that followed it. It's a great movie. Oh, before I go any further into this list, I should get this out of the way. Uh, we're not going to be getting too deep into plot details. I fucking hate spoilers. I don't care if these movies are 30 plus years. If you have not seen this movie, you're not going to get what happens in the movie out of me. I'm not going to divulge that. I am of the belief that if you're going to the cinema, if you're watching a film, then the best way to do it is with a clean slate. Zero bias. Don't read any fucking reviews beforehand. Don't look at plot summaries. Check out the trailer and then get the fuck to the movie theater and enjoy yourself. So, ye be warned. Ye shall have no details here. The I's are left undotted and the T's are left L's, lowercase. Our fourth film in the sci-fi genre that I would recommend is The Matrix, directed by the then Wachowski brothers, starring Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, Hugo fucking Weaving, Lord Elrod himself, and of course, in my opinion, the greatest action star of all time. If not all time, then definitively the last 25 years, the cool breeze come down from the mountain himself, Keanu motherfucking Reeves, representing House Reeves. The Matrix is such an influential film on so many levels, but if you're just going to examine it from one aspect, simulation theory, the concept or the proposal that our reality is in fact a simulation, a simulation created by some, not a divine creator, but some creator out there. Though I suppose if you were, if there's a creator who is absent from the creation's life, then they are inevitably divine. So the Matrix is in itself a retelling of the Messiah story. And that's all I'm gonna divulge about that. Amazing special effects, fight choreography in The Matrix, top notch, still holds up to this day. Without The Matrix, there is no John Wick. Number 3, Inception, directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, Marion Cotillard, Ellen Page. The world of Inception, which is a slightly futuristic world, is astoundingly beautiful. Astoundingly beautiful. The cinematography of Inception, the blending of practical and VFX, flawless. Very much like Jurassic Park in a different application, but flawless. Holds up beautifully. What I love about Inception is obviously, Inception has to do with the concept of dreams, the influence of dreams, the impact of dreams. How often, what human being has not dreamt something, perhaps even a nightmare, that has not influenced or impacted them in a new way, has not changed their perception on things. Inception itself changed my perception on filmmaking. I saw this movie like 5 fucking times at the Carmike in Hopkinsville. One of the rattiest fucking theaters of all time. Number 2, directed by Paul Verhoeven, starring Casper Van Dien, Denise Richards, Neil Patrick Harris, amongst others. Jake Busey. Jake Busey in what is his best role of all time. Starship Troopers. On the surface, Starship Troopers comes off as like a B-rate cult classic. Your standard alien action fare. But peel back the layers, and what you'll find is that Starship Troopers is a satirical look at the military-industrial complex, the relationship between the military and the government, the military and the general populace. Excuse me, the difference. It establishes a philosophical difference within society between a citizen and a civilian. A citizen, according to the movie, is someone who is willing to basically lay down their lives for human rights, for constitutional rights, for their country's rights, etc. A civilian is one who is not willing to lay down their lives. That's basically the distinction. It's a incredibly profound film, incredibly introspective, and fucking hilarious. It is a hilarious movie. Still stands up to today. One of my all-time favorite films. Easily in my top 15 films of all time. One of the most quotable films of all time. Also, Starship Troopers was a predictor of sorts for news media. The way the media is depicted is spot on, man. Starship Troopers. The only good bug is a dead bug. Directed by Paul Verhoeven, I believe it was around 1998. I highly recommend it. And the number one sci-fi film, in my opinion, of all time has to be Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. Either the director's cut or the final cut. One of the greatest films of all time that deals with giant fucking questions. Predominantly the nature of, what does it mean to be a human being? What is human? The film basically, deals... The film depicts a society with three different classes. You have the industrial elites, the poor class. There's not really a middle class in the Blade Runner world. The poor lower class, and then the replicant slave labor caste. This movie stars Harrison Ford, Edward James Olmos, and Rutger Hauer as one of the greatest antagonist villains of all time. Roy Batty delivers one of the greatest monologues of all time. Blade Runner. What does it mean to be human? That's essentially the role of sci-fi, is to hold up a mirror either to oneself or to the greater picture of society. Typically, it is society. Sci-fi has always been at the forefront of societal introspection, but also in the development of society. The cell phone, this very cell phone that I'm recording this on right now, because my laptop got fucking cracked at Sacramento International, and the asshole that knocked it off the fucking trolley, if I see you, you're dead. I'm joking, but all is forgiven. It was a mistake. I got over it. Lost my train of fucking thought. Like the train in Inception. Gone. Gone like yesterday. Gone like a freight train. Gone like a hero in the Civil War. Bang, bang. Completely gone. Ha! That's hilarious. Anyway, it was something to do with the human condition, the nature of what it means to be human. Fucking over my head now. I lost it. But anyway, my top 5 sci-fi film recommendations. To recap: number 5, Jurassic Park. Hold on to your butts. Number 4, The Matrix, Mr. Anderson. Number 3, Inception. Number 2, Starship Troopers. And number one, Blade Runner. One of the greatest films of all time, one of the most beautiful films of all time. All these films are fucking fantastic. Highly recommended. And I highly encourage you, if given the time, which all things considered, time is our most abundant resource, check them out. You will not be disappointed. That being said, episode 8 of Hang 10, I want to thank you for stopping by. Once I get out of the quarantine, I can get my laptop fixed, and hopefully the quality of Hang 10 can return back to normal. Quick plug: we do have a very exciting episode of the Closers podcast coming up. It's our special true crime, quote unquote, cult episode. Marco, myself, and our special guest Gabby. It's going to be a very interesting and exciting discussion. We're each looking at different quote unquote cults. I have my own thoughts on that word specifically. But the cult that I looked into, or quote unquote cult, the incident that I looked into was the Waco tragedy. And there's a lot more than meets the eye to that. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And aloha, the goodbye version. I shall see you next week. Adios.